Greetings, science explorers, and welcome back to our channel. On December 15, 1971, at Stanford, a red mark fundamentally challenged everything we know about identity. A chimpanzee reached up and touched its own face, recognizing a self separate from the universe. But what if that I am is merely a biological illusion? Please comment the word Hui Man right now to join our mission of survival as we find the Watcher. You wake up every morning with total certainty that you are you. The same person who went to sleep feels solid and truly unquestionable today. Your memory stretches back through your entire life like a solid thread now. Decisions emerge from your will and thoughts arise inside your head every day. Your consciousness flows like an unbroken river from the past to the future. Yet neuroscience has been quietly dismantling this beautiful illusion piece by piece now. Dr. Michael Gazzaniga conducted split-brain experiments in the 1960s now. He revealed something deeply unsettling when the connection between hemispheres was severed. Patients would sometimes find their left hand acting completely on its own today. One hand buttoned a shirt, while the other tried to unbutton it fast. The conscious mind had zero intention of grasping those nearby physical objects now. Two separate centers of awareness seem to coexist inside a single skull today. This raises a chilling question about how many yous are inside you. Ancient Hindu concepts suggested that consciousness is not produced by the brain now. Instead, awareness exists as a fundamental aspect of reality itself in truth today. Modern neuroscience has arrived at a strikingly similar conclusion through different paths now. Your brain processes roughly 11 million bits of information every single second today. Your conscious mind is only aware of approximately 40 bits of data now. The vast majority of your mental activity happens in the deep darkness now. It stays beneath the threshold of your conscious awareness every single day today. Decisions begin forming in neural circuits 10 seconds before you even know now. The feeling of willing an action comes after the action already started today. So who exactly is making your choices in this complex biological system now? We must question the foundation of personal identity and our very history today. Groundbreaking research on false memories reveals a terrifying truth about your past now. Experiments show that we can implant detailed memories of events never happened today. Participants remember being lost in a mall with full emotional vivid details now. These memories felt absolutely real and indistinguishable from the genuine truth today. If your memories can be altered or fabricated without your own knowledge now, what does that mean for your sense of a continuous and solid self? Consider that every night when you sleep, your consciousness disappears entirely now today. You experience absolutely nothing and you are for all practical purposes gone now. Then you wake up, convinced you are the same person who slept today. But nothing connects morning you to evening you except for unreliable memories now. Neuroscience tells us these memories are constantly being reconstructed and changed daily today. What we call the self is merely a collection of mental processes now. The Buddhist concept of anatta suggests that there is no solid self. Like a river that appears continuous, it is actually different water always now. Modern cognitive science has reached a remarkably similar conclusion for us today, now. The self is not a thing but a process or a verb today. Your identity is being continuously authored by neural systems you never see now. Memories create a story of continuity that may not reflect true reality today. In quantum mechanics, the act of observation fundamentally alters reality for us now. A particle exists in multiple states until consciousness collapses the wave function today. The observer and the observed are inextricably linked in very strange ways now. If consciousness can alter reality at quantum levels, what is actually real today? Your brain does not passively receive information about the world around you now. It actively constructs your reality, moment by moment, filling in the gaps today. The colors you see do not exist in the external world today now. They are interpretations your brain creates from electromagnetic wavelengths in the air now. Solid objects are mostly empty space, held together by invisible perceived forces today. Neuroscientist Anil Seth describes consciousness as a controlled hallucination for the mind now. Your brain makes a best guess about what is happening based on signals. You are not experiencing the world as it is, but an interpretation today. You are living inside a story your brain tells itself about itself now. Dr. Julian Jaynes proposed that human consciousness is a very recent development today. He argued that ancient humans heard the voices of gods as hallucinations now, While his timeline is controversial, the deeper insight remains haunting to us today. What we call consciousness may be a particular kind of mental phenomenon now. It arose under specific conditions like a dream from which we awaken today. Meditation traditions teach that ordinary consciousness is like a deep dream, now, today. They describe states of awareness, where the separate self dissolves entirely today, now. A more fundamental consciousness exists prior to thought and memory and identity now. Neuroscientist Sam Harris suggests the feeling of being a self is an illusion. When advanced meditators report this dissolution, they may be recognizing the truth today. The neural basis of selfhood can be temporarily switched off and gone now. In quantum mechanics, the act of observation fundamentally alters reality itself now. A particle exists in multiple states until consciousness collapses the wave function. The observer and the observed are inextricably linked in very strange ways. This challenges our basic assumptions about what is objectively real today. If consciousness can alter physical reality at the quantum level right now, what does that mean for the world you experience every day? Your brain does not passively receive information about the world around you. It actively constructs your reality, moment by moment, within the deep darkness. It is constantly filling in blind spots and interpreting ambiguous sensory data. It creates a seamless experience of consciousness from fragmented neural activity today. The colors you see do not exist in the external world now. They are interpretations your brain creates from electromagnetic wavelengths in the air. The solid objects you touch are mostly empty space held together. They are bound by invisible forces that your senses cannot truly perceive. The ancient sage once asked if loving life is merely a delusion. His question cuts to the heart of something very profound for us. If your perceptions and memories and thoughts are all mental constructions now, what can you actually know about reality as it truly is? Neuroscientist Anil Seth describes consciousness as a controlled hallucination for everyone. It is your brain's best guess about what is happening right now. This guess is based on limited and often very unreliable information today. You are not experiencing the world exactly as it is in truth. You are experiencing your brain's interpretation of electrical and chemical signals now. You are living inside a story your brain tells itself daily. If you find this exploration of your internal reality helpful today, please comment the number 1 below so we can continue this. Your interaction helps us bring these deep scientific truths to the world. By recognizing the hallucination, we begin to see the true architect now. The construction is beautiful, but it is not the ultimate truth today. We must look deeper to find what lies beneath the light. Dr. Julian Jaynes proposed a radical theory about the human psychological past. He argued that consciousness as we know it is a recent development. It may have emerged only around 3,000 years ago in history. Before this, he believed humans experienced what he called a bicameral mind. They heard the voices of gods and ancestors as auditory hallucinations now. These inner voices guided their behavior through every major life decision. While his specific timeline remains controversial, his deeper insight is very haunting. What we call consciousness may not be the fundamental state of mind. It could be a particular kind of mental phenomenon that arose recently. The ancient traditions of Buddhism and Hinduism have long taught this truth. They say ordinary consciousness is like a dream from which we awaken. They describe states where the sense of a separate self dissolves. This reveals a more fundamental consciousness that exists prior to all thought. It stands before memory and before identity and before your personal story. Neuroscientist Sam Harris suggests the feeling of being a self is wrong. That hunch of being a watcher behind the eyes is an illusion. When advanced meditators report the dissolution of the self, they recognize truth. They are simply recognizing what was always true from the very beginning. Recent brain studies of experienced meditators show a very specific neural change. There is decreased activity in what we call the default mode network. These are the brain regions associated with constant self-referential thinking now. It is the neural basis of the sense of being a self. This network can be temporarily switched off through deep meditative practice today. It reveals something far more fundamental hidden underneath the constant chatter. If you are not the voice in your head, then what? If you are not your memories or your emotions or your body, the Sufi poet wrote that you are the entire ocean in drop. Modern physics echoes this mystical insight through the study of energy fields. The boundaries between observer and observed may be far more porous today. We are reaching for a reality that lies beyond the separate ego. Quantum field theory describes reality as an interconnected web of energy fluctuations. There are no fixed boundaries in the atoms that make up you. The carbon in your cells was forged in hearts of dying stars. The oxygen you breathe has been cycling through countless forms of life. Where exactly do you end, and where does the universe begin today? The philosopher Thomas Nagel asked what it is like to be bat. A bat experiences the world through echolocation, using high-pitched sounds now. It sees with sound in ways we can barely imagine in mind. No matter how much we study brains, we cannot know the feeling. Inner experiences like the redness of red are real and very vivid. Yet they exist in a realm that science cannot quite reach today. This is the subjective experience that makes you who you truly are. But when you turn your attention inward to examine this experience directly, what exactly do you find in the silence of your own mind? Thoughts arise and pass away, and emotions come and go like clouds. Sensations appear and dissolve into the space of your conscious awareness now. Even the sense of being an observer seems to flicker and fade. The closer you look for the watcher, the more elusive it becomes. Dr. Benjamin Libet showed that brain activity begins before you decide today. It starts several hundred milliseconds before you report intending to move now. The sense of willing an action appears to be a narrative story. Your brain constructs this story after the action has already been initiated. This suggests something deeply unsettling about the nature of your free will. You may be the narrator rather than the author of your life. If your decisions arise from unconscious neural processes you do not control, if your memories are constantly being reconstructed and changed by the brain, then what does it mean to take credit or blame for anything? To stay connected to these deep explorations of the human conscious mind, please subscribe to Senior Max 1 and join our community of thinkers. We are moving toward the final recognition of the one true watcher. Dr. Benjamin Libet's famous experiments revealed something profoundly unsettling about our daily sense of agency. His research showed that brain activity associated with movement begins several hundred milliseconds before we move. This suggests that the feeling of willing an action is actually a narrative your brain constructs. You are not necessarily the author of your actions, but rather a narrator describing events occurring. This delay between neural firing and conscious intention challenges our basic understanding of free will today. If your choices arise from unconscious processes, what does that mean for your personal responsibility now? When you look closely at your own decision-making process, you find that thoughts simply appear. You do not consciously choose your next thought before it arrives in your quiet awareness today. The brain is an incredibly complex organ working constantly to maintain your biological health and survival. It filters a chaotic world into a coherent story that allows you to function effectively daily. If this exploration of the inner narrator has been helpful to you, please comment Max 1. Understanding these hidden mechanisms of the mind is the first step toward a more mindful life. The implications of this neurological reality ripple outward through every aspect of our human existence today. If the self is a construction and free will is limited, how do we view ourselves? This realization does not diminish our humanity, but rather invites us into a deeper state of compassion. We are all biological beings, navigating a reality that is far more mysterious than we ever knew. The observer remains steady, even as the stories we tell ourselves change with every passing year. We are now reaching the final destination of our journey into the center of awareness. We have traveled from the simple reflection in a mirror to the complex boundaries of consciousness today. This journey has revealed that you are not just your memories, your thoughts, or your body. You are the silent and unchanging awareness that observes the constant flux of your daily life. Recognizing this witness allows you to navigate the world with greater clarity and a sense of peace. The health of your mind and body is deeply interconnected with how you perceive yourself today. By understanding the processes of the brain, we can improve our overall well-being now. It is important to remember that the information shared today is for educational and reference purposes only. This content does not replace the professional advice of a qualified healthcare provider or medical specialist. If you are experiencing any mental or physical health concerns, please seek immediate attention at a hospital. Our channel serves as a place for intellectual exploration and does not provide medical or clinical diagnosis. Always listen to the guidance of your doctor when making decisions about your personal health and safety. Maintaining a balance between scientific knowledge and professional medical care is essential for life. Thank you for joining us on this deep investigation into the observer behind your eyes today. Your presence here is a vital part of this growing community focused on the mystery of being. We hope these insights inspire you to look at your reflection with a completely new perspective. Please comment health so that our lives can become better and better every single day now. Share your thoughts about your current health status and how you feel about your own mind. Until we meet again, stay curious and take great care of your health today.